Do you have a bottle at home that just sits there? You bought it once, maybe use it for a spritz or two, and now it's just collecting dust because there just aren't that many fun recipes out there for it. Today we'll take one of those bottles, Ramazzotti Aperitivo Rosato, and turn it into 4 delicious cocktails. And along the way, I'll share 4 useful tips that will help you come up with the new cocktail ideas for any bottle you've got at home. The last hack will show you how to tweak today's recipes for any bottle you've been unfairly ignoring, even if it's not this one. Now let's start, it's cocktail time.
It's cocktail time!
My job today is a bit easier, because I'm quite familiar with this bottle. Rosato Spritz and the Rosato Tonic are popular summer cocktails in Slovenia, but that's about it really. So let's change that today. What if you got something you haven't used or seen before? Here's tip number 1. When you're working with an unfamiliar bottle, first figure out what it is. Is it an aperitivo, a liqueur, a spirit, or a bitter? Then try to find a better known bottle it resembles, based on taste, color, and how it's used, and use that as a starting point. For our Aperitivo Rosato, the closest match is probably Aperol, with its bittersweet citrusy character. Aperitivo Rosato is a bit sweeter and more floral, but it's close enough to help us think about the recipes to use it in. So with that in mind, let's make the first 2 cocktails as twists on modern classics. The first one will be a paper plane variation. I'm calling the Rose Plane. It's a lighter, floral twist on the modern classic paper plane, with Aperitivo Rosato adding just enough for a floral highlight. Along with that, you'll also need Irish whiskey, lemon juice, amaro nonino, and saline solution. Into a shaker, I'm first adding 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of Ramazzotti Aperitivo Rosato, then 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of Irish whiskey. The original calls for bourbon, but a gentler Irish whiskey will play nicer with the Rosato. Next, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of fresh lemon juice. And finally, a key ingredient of a proper paper plane, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of amaro nonino. You know I like to add 2 drops of 20% saline solution to boost all of the flavors. Then add ice and shake it all up to chill and dilute our cocktail. Make sure you have the garnish ready as well, a small paper plane. But before it takes off, spray it with lemon zest. Now double strain the cocktail into a chilled cocktail glass and add our garnish plane. That's the Rose Plane, ready for takeoff. We're staying in the world of equal parts. Next up is the Rosato and Famous. This naked and famous twist is zesty, floral, herbal, and just a little smoky on the nose. Alongside Aperitivo Rosato, you'll also need tequila, green chartreuse, lime super juice, and saline solution. Mezcal is already in a spray bottle. We start again with 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of Ramazzotti Aperitivo Rosato. Add the same amount of tequila. I'm using a Rosa tequila, aged in 1 barrels, but a Blanco tequila would work great as well, without overpowering the aperitivo like mezcal would. Next, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of green chartreuse. It's more herbal and not as sweet as its yellow brother, which will work better here. Then 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of super lime juice for that extra zestiness. Here I'm adding a full dash of saline solution, which will work great with tequila. Same as before, shaking with ice. And double strain, this time into a chilled Nicanora glass. This one does need a garnish, but before serving, give it a quick perfume of mezcal to add just a hint of smokiness. And that's the Rosato and Famous. Enjoy! Time for another tip before cocktail number 3. If a bottle can be used in a simple 2-ingredient cocktail, try elevating it by adding layers or changing the texture. For example, a milk wash with a splash of juice or some added spices, and create a clarified twist that completely transforms a one-dimensional drink. That's what we'll do with a clarified version of the Rosato and Tonic, that I'm calling the Rosato Bloom. It's light, floral, and fruity, with a silky, almost creamy texture that finishes crisp from the tonic. Tonic and saline solution will go in last, but for the clarified base, you'll need Aperitivo Rosato, cherry juice, lemon juice, and milk for the washing part. First start by combining 7.5 ounce or 230 ml of Ramazzotti Aperitivo Rosato with 4 ounces or 120 ml of cherry juice and 1 ounce or 30 ml of fresh lemon juice. Stir everything together and gently pour this into 3 ounces or 90 ml of warm milk. I found that warm milk does a better job at curdling and clarifying our acidic mixture. Let it sit for about 10 minutes. Then strain it slowly through a coffee filter. Once you see the liquid is running completely clear, you can simply refilter the first part, and you'll end up with a clear, silky liquid. That's our cocktail base. To make the cocktail, grab a tulip glass with a clear ice sphere and add 3 ounces or 90 ml of our clarified cherry Rosato base. Here we're back to 2 drops of 20% saline solution. Then top it up with 45 grams of tonic water, that's about 1.5 ounce or 45 ml. But I talked about measuring bubbling ingredients in our cocktail hacks episode. Stir gently with a bar spoon before adding the garnish. We'll use a fresh basil leaf. Give it a little slap against the side of the glass to release its aroma before dropping it in. The Rosato Bloom ready to be enjoyed with all of the senses. Before the last cocktail, tip number 3. If your bottle works in a spritz, keep it sparkly, but change the texture. Turning it into a sorbet or granita and pairing it with sparkling wine can open up a dessert-friendly side of your bottle. So for our final cocktail, let's turn the Rosato into a floral sorbet and use that to make a frozen Rosato Sgroppino. It's zesty, slightly floral, and frosty, with a soft sparkling acidity. A wonderful summer dessert. Alongside Aperitivo Rosato, you'll need lemon juice, lemon zest, plenty of ice, some saline solution, and Prosecco. We'll start by making the sorbet. So into a blender, add 2 ounces or 60 ml of Ramazzotti Aperitivo Rosato, 3/4 of an ounce or 22.5 ml of lemon juice, 2 grams of lemon zest, add a dash of 20% saline solution, or a generous pinch of salt, and 250 grams of crushed or pebbled ice. Blend until you get a soft sorbet texture. This sorbet has a lovely floral base of our Rosato, with boosted citrus notes. And here we have 2 options of serving it. You can scoop 100 grams of the sorbet into a coupe glass and top it up with 80 grams of Prosecco. Serve this with a spoon, so the guests can mix or sip at their own pace. Option 2 is to blend 100 grams of sorbet with 80 grams of Prosecco in a mixing glass, until you get a smooth, homogeneous mixture, and serve that with an optional garnish of a mint leaf. Dealer's choice. But either way you serve the Rosato Sgroppino, it's amazing. We've reached the bottom of the glass, so it's time for the final tip. Use AI. Seriously, ask it about the flavor profile of your bottle, what it's similar to, and what flavors it would pair with. Or just ask it directly, what can I make with this bottle? Perplexity, ChatGPT, Gemini, it's all in your back pocket at all times now. Just know you're still the one making the drink, so make sure you try out the recipe to see if it works or if you need to adjust anything to make it work. Let me know in the comments what bottle on your shelf needs a bit more attention, and we can all share recipe ideas in the comments below. Until next time, cheers! Friends of Cocktails.